Hello and happy Tuesday, everybody. Here's what's coming up tonight on Now. The tax bill is on the verge of approval. What does that mean for some businesses in Maine? We'll get you some answers.
Plus, last week we told you what the heck Bitcoin is. This week we're going to introduce you to someone in Maine who's actually running a Bitcoin business.
And we'll take you to a tree farm that's been selling Christmas trees to Mainers for almost 5 decades.
This is News Center now.
On News Center now, everybody. I'm Lee Goldberg.
And I'm Christina Rex. Coming up this half hour, we're talking taxes, Bitcoin again, and Christmas trees. But first, we're talking about the weather. Here's Keith Carson with the first look at your forecast. Hey, Keith.
I can actually discuss all those things if you'd like.
No, please don't.
We'll start with the taxes now. It's all right. That sounds like my Twitter feed, K-Rex. Stick to weather, Carson. Gosh. All right, we got some snow going on in the mountains. Lee was actually talking about this, how this is kind of a microclimate ongoing. And it's been snowing through much of the day in the mountains. It's continuing right now. Rangeley, Eustis, and getting a little bit farther east towards Kingfield here. So they'll see some light snow through the next couple of hours. Most of us, though, will be dry, nothing like last night. You can see those snow showers and squalls through this evening. A couple of rain showers might make it to Lewiston and into Augusta, maybe down into Brunswick as well. But there'll be rain showers as temperatures will be mild. Then we get a couple of quiet days. Wednesday and Thursday both look pretty quiet. Much warmer tomorrow than Thursday as we start cooling back down on Thursday morning. Snowfall amounts about an inch tonight from Berlin to Rangeley, and again, including Eustis, Kingfield, Bethel, that entire area there, and maybe an inch or two up towards Caribou as well. Guys, we've got a lot to talk about, though, because we have a storm system on Friday, Saturday, and then another one for Christmas Day that looks increasingly interesting.
All right.
On this vote, the yeas are 227 and the nays are 203. The conference report is adopted without objection. The motion to reconsider is laid upon the table.
Monumental tax legislation passed the House around 2:30 this afternoon. The bill is now on its way to the Senate, where it is likely to pass and then head to the president's desk for signing.
Now, while many Democrats criticized the bill for only benefiting the rich, some hotel and restaurant owners in Maine say it could actually be beneficial for them as well. Chris Costa joins us now. And Chris, obviously tourism in the state is the state's top economic driver.
Yeah, Lee and Christina, the Maine Restaurant Association says that the large majority of hotels and restaurants in the state file their taxes as small businesses, not corporations. And they say they could see major benefits from this new tax bill. Ones that the Restaurant Association believes will ultimately enhance the visitor's experience and hopefully have those tourists coming back to Maine and spending more money.
Even before the snow melts, hotels and restaurants see a large number of visitors.
This is John. How can I help you?
The Maine Office of Tourism says 36 million people came through the state in 2016, staying a night at a hotel or eating in restaurants. It's a 10% increase in visitation from the year before. And some hotel owners believe the new GOP tax bill could help that number grow.
Hospitality is our industry of the future here.
Jean Ginn Marvin is the innkeeper at the Nonantum Inn in Kennebunkport and chair of the Maine Innkeepers Association. She went to Washington, D.C. with a group of small business owners to speak to Senator Susan Collins about the tax plan and how they believe it would help. A few days later, Collins said she would support the bill.
She heard our voices and understood what we were saying. It's obviously not an easy decision, and it's not a perfect bill, but it's better than the bill we have now.
The Maine Restaurant Association says one major benefit for hotels and restaurants is the new 20% deduction for pass-throughs. Businesses like locally owned hotels. It takes away 20% of a business's first $315,000 of joint income. For example, if a small business earns $200,000 and the owner files a joint return, then the owner will not pay taxes on $40,000 of their income. Some owners say it's money they can reinvest in the properties and their staff.
I think the tourism experience in Maine will be greatly enhanced by the fact that there's more money to invest back in properties.
It's going to help every little hotel and every little restaurant in Maine to be able to offer their employees more opportunities, better wages, and better benefits.
Now, Congressman Bruce Poliquin released a statement on the passage of the bill through the House earlier today, saying in part, the improved tax code will also greatly benefit more than 140,000 small businesses and job creators throughout Maine and their 275,000 employees. He talked about the benefits that will come to the small businesses, which he called the backbones of Maine's economy, providing them relief so they can grow and create more jobs for their fellow Mainers. Now, according to Senate Democrats, they believe they're going to have to amend the bill before they can vote on it. That means it would likely, if they do make those changes, it would have to go back to the House and be voted on again. The Senate Democrats say it's likely that that vote will come tomorrow morning. Lee and Christina.
All right, Chris Costa, beard and all. Thank you very much, sir. Good to see you back. This is a story you guys have been talking about since we posted on our Facebook page yesterday. Justin DiPietro, the father of missing toddler Ayla Reynolds, spoke exclusively to the syndicated TV show Crime Watch Daily.
This is the first time he's spoken out since 20-month-old Ayla went missing 6 years ago, sparking the biggest missing persons case in Maine history.
Justin, hi. I'm Melissa with Crime Watch Daily. Here to talk to you about Ayla, if you have a few minutes. And I was just wondering how you're coping with that.
Not very good.
Do you think it was from someone that you know or a stranger?
Yeah, someone that, yeah, I know.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you think
we meet at another time? Is that possible?
Yeah.
Justin DiPietro moved to Los Angeles years ago. A Crime Watch Daily reporter caught him leaving his house, and he chatted with her briefly, as you saw. He asked her to meet at a later time, but ultimately backed out and ended up talking to her by phone instead. DiPietro told the reporter that he believes Ayla was kidnapped by somebody that he knows, and hints that he thinks Ayla's mother, Trista, may have played a part in Ayla's kidnapping.
When I met you that morning, you said that maybe someone you know had something to do with it. Who do you think would have taken her?
It's always been the same person that I thought it was from the beginning.
Who do you think it is? Is it her mom, a relative?
Yeah, I think it's someone close to her. I thought it was kind of weird that Trista passed through Waterville, which is my town, that same morning, but nothing was ever mentioned about that.
And DiPietro told that reporter he believes Ayla is still alive. He and Ayla's mother, Trista, have not seen each other since a very public fight after a court appearance back when Ayla went missing. It's likely they will see each other in court again, though. Trista plans to file a civil suit against DiPietro for wrongful death.
All right, still to come on now. The value of Bitcoin is up to $18,000. Coming up next, we'll tell you about one Mainer who's turning this cryptocurrency into real dollars. So stay with us for that.
So last week on Now, we broke down all the hype, what it's about with this Bitcoin.
Yes, thank you for explaining that, because I was totally confused, and I'm just slightly confused now.
Perfect.
There is one man in our state, though, not confused. He's making it his mission to teach the rest of us about the cryptocurrency and has super high hopes for its future in the 207. Katie Ortiz has his story.
Some countries like Venezuela, government overinflates the currency and people can't live off their own money. In a country like that, Bitcoin is saving people's lives.
If not at least piquing everybody's curiosity. For Jake, Bitcoin has been an interest he spent the last 3 years researching until an epiphany.
I had the decision to either spend all of my time trying to do that and potentially make what I was making at my regular job as a salary employee with many benefits, or continue to work for somebody else that I didn't particularly like that much. So the choice ended up being take the risk.
He put all of his eggs in one Bitcoin basket and launched Maine Bitcoin LLC, buying and selling Bitcoins and charging by the hour for a Bitcoin crash course.
I would say that a large number of people that come in here are a little bit older. They really like sitting down, showing them step by step everything. And security in Bitcoin is a very, very big topic.
Business is booming, something he doesn't expect to last because of the hype in the market. Let's be real, the cryptocurrency has unorthodox written all over it. Your first and last name, can you just spell it?
Jake, J-A-K-E.
And your last name?
No.
No last name. May I ask why? Just out of my own curiosity.
This business is extremely high profile, and there's actually been a lot of issues with people that are perceived as owning a lot of Bitcoin. And there have been in other parts of the country robberies, threats of death to send Bitcoin to them.
But he's not worried.
It's just a side issue. The business is registered through a law firm in Portland. So I'm the owner, but not very not publicly listed.
Despite the fluctuation,
in the very beginning it was quite good, and it became not so good pretty quickly. The end of last year, I think November last year, I made $20 profit.
this Mainer is following his Bitcoin dream and sharing the crypto wealth.
If you think about it, every time you hop in a car, you're taking a huge risk with your own life. You might as well bet on yourself.
In Lewiston, Katie Ortiz, News Center.
Now, earlier this year, New Hampshire Governor Chris Sununu signed a bill into law exempting Bitcoin and other digital currencies from state regulation. Jake says he believes Maine will soon follow.
We'll see, I guess. All right, Disney has updated all its Hall of Presidents to reflect the current administration. A revamped 25-minute show features an animatronic likeness of President Trump reciting the oath of office and then giving a speech.
The attraction had been closed since a few days before Trump's inauguration. It was expected to reopen this summer, but was delayed for months, prompting a conspiracy theory that Disney wanted to silence the new president. The company indicated that it was delayed because they were waiting for Trump to record his dialogue. The Trump robot is also raising some eyebrows based on how much it doesn't actually look like the president. Some people have pointed out it really more closely resembles actor Jon Voight, while Twitter user Shannon O'Neill says clearly Disney had Hillary's robot ready to go, and then they made it just try it to make it look like Trump.
Oh, Disney can't avoid those conspiracy theories.
No,
always coming to Disney. All right, your full forecast is coming up next on News Center Now. What's the board say today? Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
I was just debating how I got blamed for the under forecast snow when I didn't put a map out over the weekend.
Excuse me, are you throwing your coworkers
I
under the
thought
bus
Ryan
right
did
now?
a good job. In Ryan's defense, Portland's official reading 3.5 inches. The highest I saw anywhere was 5.4. You know, I
wasn't just Ryan.
Giving Keith a hard time because
Ryan was the
more
last crack, and Todd too.
Yeah,
we
Todd
thought.
was the last crack.
Todd, don't say this to Todd. Todd's at home. You know,
Todd
probably
is asleep right now.
He's doing family
I'm
game
just
night.
saying, don't throw
and
Ryan,
you
the new
ruined
guy,
it.
under the bus.
I just said I thought it was good.
Keith, I'm here for the little people. Okay?
I'm just going to sit over here. I don't even know what just happened.
I'm trying to defend him. Anyways, still some snow in the mountains right now. As we talked about before, kind of a microclimate going on there. The snow will continue for the next couple of hours. Temperatures in the 20s there, 40s and 30s along the coastline. Anything that gets to the coast will be in the form of rain showers over the next few. But there it is, most of it hanging up. It's orographic in nature, so it's getting hung up on the western side of a lot of these slopes, and they're getting a little extra snow there. As it heads downhill, it tends to dry out for the most part, just an isolated shower tonight. Tomorrow is a decent looking day with a flurry in the mountains, but most of us are partly cloudy. And then Thursday's quiet as well, but it'll be much cooler on Thursday with temperatures starting in the single digits and then teens along the coastline. So tomorrow's a good looking day, but then it does get cold for Thursday. Gets very active after that. We'll talk about it in a second. There's the snowfall amounts for tonight, about an inch or so in Rangeley, Berlin, and maybe just to the north there of Freiburg, they could see a half an inch of fluffy accumulation. Okay, so a lot going on in the days from Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and into Christmas Day. Obviously big travel days for a lot of people. So let's walk you through the timing here. We start with the high. Everything's fine on Friday morning. Friday afternoon into Friday night, we get an overrunning warm front, which is very similar to what we saw yesterday. So I'd expect similar snowfall totals. Most of us in that 2-3 inch range, but a couple of us higher than that. That's through Friday night and through early Saturday morning. Rain-snow transition is slow at times on Saturday morning, but by Saturday afternoon, it looks like the entire state should change over to a rain, which will be a cold rain over northern Maine and a warmer rain along the coastline. That system moves out on Sunday morning. We're between storms through much of the day on Sunday, and then we are watching a storm system on Christmas Day itself. It being 6 days out, it's very hard to commit to exactly what's going to happen. The latest runs, though, have been colder, which would imply the possibility of some snow on Christmas Day. After that, back into the freezer. It is very cold with a couple of lobes of Arctic air rotating down. So there's only two possible solutions here, guys. We were right that the season will be front-end loaded, or it's going to be a heck of a winter. Those are the two options. And for everybody, I hope the first one is correct. We'll watch Monday, as Lee and I talked about. You're going to be divided along what you're planning on doing on Christmas, whether or not you want snow. Those who have to travel aren't going to dig it. Those who are sitting inside with the eggnog, Cousin Eddie, they're going to like it. Oh. So it all depends.
Everybody's got a Cousin Eddie.
That they do. This is a great quality share. That's my favorite Christmas movie, probably.
It's a lifetime subscription to the Jelly of the Month Club.
We didn't even get that.
It's a gift that keeps on giving. No, we didn't get that.
Didn't get that.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Keith. Okay. After now.
She hasn't seen the movie.
No, just going to tap out of this one. Is News Center at 5:30, and here's what's coming up. New regulations are going to impact truckers in and around Maine.
Drivers on the long haul will be required to keep track of their miles and hours with the new electronic devices. No more handwritten logs. We'll find out what those changes and what we can expect to see coming up.
And a heartwarming story about neighborly generosity in the Sanford Police Department. But before we get to 5:30, I love this story.
Okay, so getting to meet, or in today's world, getting a tweet from a celebrity is a huge moment for any fan. A picture of Camden Hills High School students in Rockport has been retweeted and liked more than 2,000 times because it was originally tweeted by a big Broadway star.
Yep, Lin-Manuel Miranda, the creator of the smash hit show Hamilton, tweeted this picture of Camden Hills High School students in their production of his first show, In the Heights. The production raised $1,500 for the Hispanic Federation to help with Hurricane Maria relief in Puerto Rico. The show is about the Hispanic community in Washington Heights in New York, and it even features a song called Blackout. That's why the Camden Hills High School group was inspired to help Puerto Ricans in their time of need. But they never thought they would get recognition from the show's creator.
And I've had a couple people mention it to me. They were like, what'd you think? And I was just like, it's a really, really crazy experience, but it's definitely gratifying.
We took our inspiration from Lin-Manuel with the fact that he has used music and musicals to talk about social issues and to affect change. And that was part of what we were hoping to do too. And it just really was a wonderful community feel to be able to, here in Midcoast Maine, where we really are not suffering. We have things very nice in our lives, to be able to give to others who are really having a hard time. And I think that's important to reach out.
So the play was back in October, and the students and directors say that Maine's windstorm and power outage in October was also a source of inspiration for giving back.
Are you okay? You feel good?
I feel good.
So your favorite,
I mean, he didn't tweet at me.
Your favorite Lin-Manuel Miranda, though, is Hamilton?
Is Hamilton.
Mine is Moana. That shows the difference in where we are in our lives.
I also love Moana, though.
Oh, who doesn't? All right, still to come on now.
More of a hobby than a business. And I really enjoyed working with trees, and I still do.
One nursery has been providing Christmas trees to the Sugarloaf area for almost 50 years, and the owner is still going strong at 92 years of age. That story when News Center Now continues. So there are a lot of places that people can go to pick up their Christmas trees, but in the Kingfield area surrounding Sugarloaf, most people have been going to the same place for almost 50 years.
McClure's Tree Nursery opened in 1970 when the first seeds went into the ground, and 47 years later, it's still going strong. The man behind it all is 92-year-old Hal McClure, who still works on the farm each and every day. He shears the trees and mows the land and wouldn't have it any other way.
This is my hobby. This is why I'm here. This is what I enjoy doing. If I wasn't doing this, why, maybe I wouldn't even want to be around.
So this keeps you going.
That's right. This is what does it.
I think that's one of the biggest motivating factors for me to continue to be a part of it, is to get a chance to be with him. It's a family thing. My uncle and his sons work it. My brother helped turn it around, and we all get a chance to work together and collectively.
And McClure says it takes anywhere from 8 to 10 years to get a good-sized Christmas tree.
Researchers are developing a new cheap method for taking x-rays, and they're using Scotch tape to do it. Scientists at the University of California have found that unpeeling Scotch tape at little over an inch a second produces a large number of x-rays, enough for images to show up on dental x-ray film.
Now, it's not happening every time you rip off some tape. It has to be in a vacuum for the radiation to emanate. So don't worry about exposure while you're doing your Christmas wrapping. Researchers are working to translate their findings into cheap imaging devices that probably won't use Scotch tape in the final form. The findings were published in the journal Nature.
Interesting.
Emily, you don't see that too often in the prompter, do you?
No,
you got it.
we
That
took
was
a break
the first
there.
time read there.
Good
I was
job.
making sure I got that one right.
All right.
What are we learning about?
Pew Research does a lot of interesting stuff, and I love them on Twitter because they'll tweet this out. And this caught my attention. They talked about trust in scientists, and they compared it to other fields. So the military has a higher trust than scientists, but you'll notice that it goes down. Now, technically, I guess I'm also part of the news media, which means that I'm somewhere between the two, trust-wise. Elected officials, no surprise, doing the worst in the trust level. If we go to the next graphic, though, it shows you a slightly different story, which is, so people trust the experts in their field when you ask them that question directly, right? So the benefits of vaccines. Okay, medical scientists, pharmaceutical, climate change, climate scientists, health risk scientists. All of this is good. So you wonder, where are some of these counter movements coming from? Right. If we can go to the next one, you'll see, which is they trust them on these topics, but specifically divided within that. They think that they don't understand the effects of MMR vaccines. See how it's very well to fairly well or close to each other,
right.
And climate change is the same thing, and many Americans also think that they disagree. So if you look at climate scientists understand the causes of climate change, very well is only 28%, fairly well is 40%, and 32% say not too well and not well at all. So what you're seeing is, essentially, if you were to take down the kind of psychology of these results, they trust people in their field unless they don't want to trust them in their field, right? That's kind of what we're looking at. They picked hot button issues to ask them about specifically, so they could divide from, do you trust scientists, do you trust politicians, from, in this area, do you trust them?
I don't know if there's a way to know it, but I just wonder how much of these numbers, what they'd look like before the internet. Before people did a lot of their own kind of self-researching and reading, and you know, before somebody tells you something and you go, okay, you do it, and now a lot of people
critical
are trying to
thinking is great. Look, these flat earthers that I've been debating for 5 days, I say, your critical thinking is great, but researching, in quotes, some guy on YouTube, it's not the same thing.
No, it's where you get your research.
There's a reason that
Joe's
they're
homepage
experts.
is not a legitimate site.
Wait, did you like, though, with that first graph, how Keith said he's somewhere between scientists and news media, so he puts himself just above us a little
I think I'm more a scientist than I'm a news person.
This surprises you? That Keith puts himself above us?
I don't know. I parked my car in the garage under the building.
We know.
Is that going to be a problem?
Hair flip. Okay, and News Center at 5:30 starts right now.